All right. So that next we get to um, the the pentatonic scales. Now we're gonna remove the 4 and the 7 from all of this, and we're left with the pentatonic boxes. It's even easier, you know. So like starting from the third, well, it depends. What's the root? What's the root? If you want the root to be the G, okay. Now remember, this is down tunes. You can call the root the G. All right, where were we? Up here. Now this pattern's interesting because when you look at the S3XL right here, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a beautiful pattern. That's the only pattern you can go. You know what I'm saying? You can go wild on this thing. I mean, and it's all part of the C major, you know, part of the 1 major scale. All right, it could be part of any key. You can start here. You know what I'm saying? So it starts on the 5th, and it's important to realize the root one's going to start in the middle there. All right. Now, when you take away from this S3L, XL, extra large, extra long, when you take the 7 and the 4 away, what are you left with? You're left with this right here, 5, 6, root 2, 3, 5, 6. It's an interesting pattern. Okay? And one, you know, the reason why I put these extra notes in here, which is part of these guys, is so we don't make a mistake. All right? And you'll see that on the chart for today, I believe. Yeah, I've got them in there in the patterns. So we could look at the barred short pattern stack here. This appears to be diatonic. But look here, I've got the 7 and the 4 included. And the reason that is because I don't want to make a mistake. It's like, you know, one or the other. And I'm going to make a mistake which side it has to be on, because this one has to be to the right, to the left rather, of the 6. This one has to be to the right. But if you keep in mind that the basic S3L pattern has 4 on the top, and you learn this pattern first, okay? And then learn how to play into this one. So essentially you've got these two guys here. Essentially you've got these two guys here. If you could just play that pattern, just start on a D if you want, but start anywhere you want, but okay, that it stacks on itself. S2L underneath just lines right up there, as long as you realize, first of all, the 3rd to the 4th is a breeze, right? So you know it's 3rd to the 4th right there. Okay, so you learn this pattern first, and this becomes your lifelong friend, this thing. And you learn this pattern is even easier. All right, and for the pentatonics, you just do the middle part, 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2. You take away the 7 and the 4 here, and it's just a stack of 2 long, right? 3, 5, 6 R. So it's 2, 3, 5, 6, R, 2, 3, 5, 6, R, 2, 3, 5, 6, R2. Okay, that's what that is. Now, what I've done, and this is all about the other stuff here. Let's get out of the drawing tool so I can back out of this. This is about the tuning that I've made the guitar and how it works. So we're not ready for that yet. We'll have to revisit that subject yet. Up here we've got the stars of the show up here. We've got our S3XL, we've got our S2L, we've got here's an S2S without the 4th and the 7th. This is the S2 super long. Alright, it just, if you want to just do a really long major scale. Sorry, I went up too many. That's what that is, but that's just razzle dazzle. This is important. This S4L became important in this pattern here. Here's your S3XL. This is the open capo stack. Can be applied to triads, pentatonic scales, or diatonic with all the notes. In the middle here we have what? What's that in the middle? That's an S2L. Okay, now look at the S3L. You got 7R2 stacked from underneath, and you got 2, 3, 4 stacked from the top. That's like I was telling you, they stack together like that. We've made a new pattern, and it's just half, whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, half. You want to know what the numbers are too. Okay, you are starting from 7 there. So you could start it from root and go. So that's a good pattern because it's right here. This is it. This little square right here. Okay? This is the guy right here. You know, we could do weird things to that to make it stand out. Something like this. You know, we can make it look different. I don't know. That didn't do much to it, but there it is. Okay, so we could take this guy and just copy, take this guy right here and put it in there. There it is. This is this. Does that make sense? So in an open capo stack, that's all you have to know. The S3 long, where you can go crazy from the 5th in whole steps, right? And then in between these guys, from the 7 to the R is a half step, from the 3 to the 4 is a half step. How's it a half step? Because when you go from one string to the other, that's a 4th. Okay? One whole less than that is a minor 3rd. All right? One half step less than that is a whole step, and then a half step less than a whole step is a half step. So that's why it's a half step from 3 to 4. You can go wild with this and then go right into this guy. So it's 6, 7, R2, and you know, that's the whole thing, you know. Then you gotta hit the warp. Alright, so that works well. That definitely works well. And what I wanted to show you otherwise was this. When we have our open capo triad stack, learn these. Okay, this is your S3XL right here. But with just the roots and the 5ths, you know, just get familiar with where these guys are. They're a little far apart, but let's look at the barred short pattern first. You got 3, 5 root, and then you got 3, 5 root. That's first inversion. But remember, it's not chords now, it's arpeggios, because we're on the same string here. You can't play a chord on the same string unless you just go. Maybe it'll sound the same.